So yeah, I'll just ask you a few questions, maybe have you do some things, and that'll be probably about it. Is that good?
Yeah, that's good. When did I start teaching? Oh, about 30 years ago.
And why did you start teaching?
Why did I start teaching? I started teaching because it's what I felt like I needed to do. There's something there that some things happened there that I just felt like this is where I need to be, and so I was putting in a really good place, and I had a great principal, and he hired me, and he just said, we need you here, and I'm grateful for that.
That's awesome. Where were you born / raised?
I was born in Driggs, Idaho. Raised in a little place called Tetonia, Idaho. We had a real big farm, and Dad had lots of work, and we just kept working and hauling hay and milking cows and hauling hay and just potatoes, and we just had a lot of work to do, and Dad kept us busy all that time.
How do you think that affected where you're at now?
Well, there's a big impact. I always look at where you come from and say it has a major impact. All of us have traits about us that we are because of our childhood. It's just the way that we think about things, the way that we do things. It's like some of the kids used to tell me, say, hey, Coach Hansen, why don't you get on the skateboard? And I would look at it and go, me on a skateboard? You know, those things have wheels that go back and forth, and I see all these kids with them, and I started to wonder. I said, why is it that I have never been on a skateboard? And then I started to think back at home. All we ever had was gravel roads. Some of the experiences that have changed me is I had a lot of good brothers. There are 5 boys, there's 6 boys totaling in the family and 3 girls. And so we were always, I want to say, horsing around, or, would pick on each other. They would pick on me. I'd probably pick on the little brothers, and that's just kind of how it was. And then I've had a lot of experiences in the school system that says, you know what, there's certain things that we ought to do. And those things are, we try to take care of kids. We help them understand what's going on. We try to look after them so that they get the concept so that they can be better off. And that's one of the things. I had a teacher there named Sigler Markham who just took me out of class one day and says, okay, what's going on? And when he did that, I realized that somebody does care about me in that school system. And because of that, it started to say, you know what? And so I know that I made a definite change at that time to be more inclined to school and be better, so I could work harder on it.
That's great. What do you think arete means to you?
Arete is that characteristic where you strive for excellence. You strive to do your very, very best. And yes, you might have lots of challenges, and you might think about things, but if you can do arete and you think, you know what, I am going to strive to become the best that I can be, and you keep working for it, you keep after it, you come back and say, you know what, I didn't quite make it today, but I'm going to make it tomorrow, and you strive for that excellence in all that you do, then that makes character, and that's why I like arete.
Awesome. Who is your hero or role model?
Okay, my dad is one of my heroes, and part of it is he never had quitting. He would get up in the morning, he would be hard working all day long, he would just milk the cows, and sometimes they would milk 30 cows. He would milk 30 cows by hand. And for his story, he died at 93. He was out on a four-wheel drive, not a four-wheel drive truck, but a four-wheel drive vehicle, a 4x4. Oh well, let's pause that. Okay, what do we call that one? We got the the four-wheeler.
It's a four-wheeler, exactly.
Okay. All right.
You got that.
Okay, so my dad was on a four-wheeler, and he had kind of needed some oxygen, so Mom said, "You can't stand here. I'll head this gate." And so he gets on that four-wheeler and he gears it up there, and away he goes, and then he hits a ditch, and he flips the four-wheel on her, him breaking his leg, breaking his sternum. He just broke everything up. And so Mom had to walk home. She got the four-wheel off of him, and he tried to stand up, and he couldn't. Okay, and so she had to walk home. The ambulance came, picked him up, took him to Idaho Falls from Teutonia, and he was there all night, and it looked like he was going to make it, and he was just in so much pain. But he whispered over to my brother Ron, and he said, "I think it's time to quit." And then he died. Okay, so I look at that and say the power we have of going to our utmost. That's my hero. If I can be like him and be as a good a man as he was, then I'll be lucky.
Awesome. So, what is a life saying, like a saying of yours? What would you say, as in like inspirational?
Don't quit until the bell has rung. So many times we just quit, and we've got time, and time is a precious thing, but you just give everything you've got during that time. So if I'm wrestling, those 9-minute matches when I went to college, the 6-minute matches in high school, okay, so you got and then in college we end up having the 2-3-3. So we had all this time, and you never quit until the end. The bell has finally rung, and that means that you just give it everything you got during all that time. And if you can do that, then who knows what you're going to accomplish? Because a lot of people just quit. They get tired, they quit. And fatigue makes cowards out of all of us. So.
All right. See that picture right there on that board?
Mm-hmm.
Right there. Do you remember who made that?
Yeah, I do.
Who's that?
Okay, Tyler Austin. Okay.
Do you like that picture right there?
Well, I tell you what, I'm a little big there because he's blown me up. Okay. But I've got some fond memories of some of the kids I've had. I mean, they're good kids, and someday they're gonna come back, and hopefully they'll be the great ones. They will be the great ones, and I hope that's what happens to all of them. Hope it happens to Peyton early.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's pretty cool. That's cool, because junior high, 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, we're kind of saying, who am I? What am I doing? And everybody's in such different places. So I've been glad to be here during that junior high experience, and I hope that I've made a difference.
That's awesome. So why did you choose history out of all the subjects in school?
Why did I choose history? Because history talks about major concepts, such as arete. It's going to talk about how do we treat other people. What does it do that takes and makes us who we are? And when we watch and learn from other experiences, other cultures, then we can say, you know what, I can be a little kinder. I can be a little smarter. I can be better. And if I can learn from that and then help my kids to understand that, and saying that society is dependent upon how we view it and how we make it into a better place for all. And that's why I like history. I've had some great history teachers where they would teach me some concepts, and I'm going, whoa, man, if I could give that concept there to somebody else and they could remember it, that would really be cool.
Awesome.
So when you say arete and you ask me that question, oh my gosh, it makes my heart warm. Okay? So I look at that and say we have determining who we are.